Hi, Tendai. Thank you for the question and also having me on this platform. Essentially, as I alluded to before, my old man, my father, was a very keen farmer, and it was actually something which was inherent in their family because his father, which is my grandfather, he was also in this cattle you put someone like you buy cattle in and then you feed it and then you sell it. So essentially he came from an environment very focused in agriculture, and after he passed away, he was always he always used to take me to the farm, try to show me the ropes. Everything is done like A, like B, like C, like D. So after that happened, like personally, it's a passion which had already started from an early stage, not like per se when he passed away. That's when I started venturing into it. I actually started doing a couple of projects, and he was actually assisting me. But unfortunately, that's what happened, and then I decided to take it over full time. I believe it's something which is it's quite lucrative. I'm done well, but at the same time, I also had that passion element whereby you want to just keep on the legacy. So as siblings, we just agreed, like just give each other responsibilities. Like you were saying that there's inheritance squabbles and whatnot, but we decided to be a bit mature about it because he had a couple of projects. So we essentially divided, responsibilities. Like for example, John, you doing this. Peter, you're gonna focus on transport. Um Trevor, you're going to focus on this. So, it's kind of like helped us, in terms of balancing all the responsibilities, and then in order to sort of like make sure that we are walking towards the right projection, we do what we call uh, check-up meetings, like at least once a month, and then you discuss, okay, with your task that we gave you, where are you? Are you facing any challenges? And then that platform becomes sort of like a springboard for us to sort of like assist each other, because you understand some of these things, it's very tough to do it, especially when you're young. You don't have experience, and you don't have much. But for my story, I've got a lot of support, from my father's older siblings, the younger siblings. They've been very supportive, so it's been quite a fantastic journey, and coupled with the last season whereby we did some maize and then it came out very well. And it was actually a project, and I didn't know whether it was going to come out well or not, but I decided to sort of like sacrifice my personal savings because I didn't want to get indulged very fast into certain schemes whereby you might end up having a debt and then you might not be able to pay it, and then especially given that it's like a family thing that you're doing. So yeah, I took it independently, quite a high risk, but I'm quite happy that it paid off. And especially like I said earlier on, I've got immense support, from people from various platforms, even including the late Foster. He was quite a fantastic person. He really assisted me. Like sometimes, you feel like giving up, because the pressure can be insurmountable. But yeah, he was always there for me, keep on, push on. So yeah, that's where we are, and yeah, we're still going hard with farming. Okay, thanks Tendai for that question. So, with reference to the first question, when you say like what specific agricultural products are you involved in? So, I'm involved in cattle, as well as goat breeding. Those are the essential products projects, and then I'm also into, like last season, we predominantly did maize. I think we did about 15 hectares of maize. Not much, but for the start, it was quite fair. So those are the main three projects that we predominantly involved in. And then we also actually starting chicken production for the guys who are staying by the farm, so that they can also have certain like activities that they do when we waiting for the farming seasons. So with reference to capitalizing on agri project, it's one of those whereby it's really a capital intensive industry. So as I've learned, being part of it, so there's really a need for a bridging finance if you don't have the capacity or the capital to finance the project. As for me, like I had alluded earlier on, I'm also a corporate, and I've worked for a couple of companies which you've outlined in the profile. And currently, I'm also working for a certain corporate company in Africa. So I always put aside, sort of like a bit of capital, such that it's like a split, eh? Like if you say you got your remuneration that you get, but you know that every time I get 100%, 20% should go towards this project. So that's how I do it. I always put aside something at the end of each and every month, because like the way I farm, I usually predominantly farm in September, in October, the maize season. That's my predominant crop. So during the year, especially after harvesting, I always make sure that even if you get some revenue from the harvest that you've done, you always need to reinvest that capital back in the land. So that's where some of the financing comes from. And then with reference to equipment, from my side, since it was a family farm, so some of the stuff is there already, like the tractors and the stuff, but there are certain things which you need to sort of like outsource. So I also maximized from outsourcing. Like for example, I had to outsource a combined harvester, because with big yields, sometimes you might try to use the manual way of doing things, but you might realize that that might actually turn out to be expensive and very inefficient for you. So yeah, I actually outsourced that. It's not very cheap, so it's quite expensive. But I guess with the agricultural industry, the best way, or what I'm learning along the journey that I'm going through, is that you need to sort of like have a savings, and then if there are also bank facilities which can actually assist you in procuring these equipments, that would actually go a long way. Because if you have your own equipment, you're in control of all your supply chain system, so you do things more efficiently. And another thing which I've seen, which is quite important, is irrigation water. Because in terms of farming, I've learned that without water, it's really quite a challenge, because you dependent on the heavens. Last season was quite great, because it really rained, and it was positive for most people. I would want to believe, who ventured into farming. But I guess we need to invest in things like equipment, invest in irrigation, and we also need to invest in knowledge. Because one thing I've realized, we need to empower the people who will be working for us by the farm there. So there are certain courses which are done, which I actually take my guys that side to sort of like educate them. And when they're educated, it actually benefits them, the person as an individual, because they have upgraded their knowledge skill. And then it also helps you also as the farmer, because you're also benefiting from the knowledge base. So yeah, we do have a couple of guys that we actually selected. We've got a young man who's actually by MSU, who's actually doing an agricultural degree, which we're also assisting him in funding, because it's one of those whereby we understand that they are also the future. But what best to empower someone with something that he or she can use personally, even after the relationship goes forward. So those are some of the initiatives that we try to also partake in. It's also then comes out as a social philanthropy, whereby you're also giving back to the community, which takes care of you. So yeah, but yeah, in terms of commercialization, it's mostly cows, goats, and then we're also into maize, and then we're going to get into soybeans this season as well. So we're actually just touching up on our irrigation systems, and we hope that everything goes well.